What's up, guys? JV2017 here, and today I want to talk to you guys about the War Z controversy. So basically, across the past few days, it's really blown up across the internet, across Reddit, across YouTube, across IGN, Kotaku. A bunch of gaming news, or just gaming and related websites across the internet have exploded with the War Z hate. This whole controversy about this game that was released and promised a bunch of things that it didn't actually have in the game. So I'm just going to give you guys my 2 cents. Also, I want to link you guys to a really, really good Reddit post that I found in R Gaming, and it's basically a full War Z controversy explanation and full timeline. So in the description of this video, there's a full explanation. I'm not going to read over it over video for you guys because it's kind of like, I'm just taking this guy's information and putting it on the internet and profiting from it. But I'm just going to give you guys that source. It's in the description. Once again, the link to that article is in the description or Reddit post. And thank you, Mr. Eric L. Pye, for giving us a non-biased, non-partial kind of post. It's not a hate post. It's a completely factual post about what has gone down with the War Z. So unless you've been living under a rock for the past few days in terms of, Steam, Reddit, the internet, blah, 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 let me just give you kind of my really quickie version. So basically 6 months ago, a developer named Hammerpoint Interactive, which developed a free-to-play COD-like FPS called War Inc., basically kind of hinted that they would make a game kind of like DayZ, with the same kind of elements as DayZ. And ever since that day, or ever since, let's see, so they made that announcement on May 16th, and then on July 19th, they announced that they'd be making the War Z, which they called a zombie survival shooter MMO. So right when people saw that, they were like, oh my god, this is an exact copy of DayZ, which DayZ, if you guys didn't know, is a mod for the game Arma 2, which is a PC game, and it's massively popular. It just exploded. CNanners did a lot of videos of it, and that probably also helped its popularity, kind of like he did with Minecraft, which is awesome. But yeah, super, super popular mod. A ton of people went out and bought the game Arma 2 just to play DayZ. So once it was heard that Hammerpoint was announcing a game called The War Z, which is basically has the same concept of DayZ, people were just all over it, criticizing the game from day one. And the developers reacted in a very immature way. Now, I can kind of relate to the developers, I can say, from Hammerpoint. They were seeing that people were criticizing and attacking their creative baby. They created this thing, from scratch, I guess you could say. Well, kind of not in a way. I'll get to that in a second. They created this thing from scratch, and people are criticizing it, and it's not even out yet. So basically, the developers took a very immature stance about it. They started banning anybody criticizing the game, and anytime you censor somebody on the internet, you're going to have a hard time. There's going to be a ton of backlash, and that's, I don't know, that's just common sense. So basically, a long string of bad events happened. The game got released in alpha form, and a ton of people were disappointed. And basically, it looks like an exact copy clone of War Inc., which is, again, like I said before, the game that Hammerpoint Interactive released before the War Z. They basically took a bunch of code. This is what it looks like. They took a bunch of code from the War Inc. and put it into the War Z. War Inc. and put it into the War Z, which is a very awkward title for War Z. They took a bunch of code, put it in there, and said, hey, here's a new game, pay $15 for it. And a ton of people took offense to that. They also copied the terms of service of League of Legends, which a lot of people caught onto, and they were like, hey, what's up with this BS, Another really bad situation happened. The executive producer of the War Z called Spawn Campers faggots. Now, like I said, I already got the refund. I don't know if I mentioned it in this commentary. I've done this commentary like 5 times. I've screwed up so much. Basically, the executive producer called Spawn Campers faggots, and that's hilarious because I played the game, got my refund, and when I was playing the game and trying it out, I got spawn camped within the first 5 minutes every single time I played the game, except for one time, which was the last time I did play the game. It was just really frustrating. And then basically another string of events happened. They announced some features, and like the clan feature, was added as a paid option, which caused a huge uproar, and they kind of tweaked that a little bit, but it was still ridiculous. They added a ton of kind of paid options that you don't normally have in a game that you pay for. For example, World of Warcraft. You pay $15 a month to play World of Warcraft. I know that's a lot more in comparison to just paying $15 one time for the War Z. But the War Z, one of their models is asking asking players to pay for clan access. That's just bullshit completely, in my opinion. That's just BS. No other game does that, and they don't do it for a reason. So finally, the War Z was made unpurchasable by Steam, on Steam by Valve, which was, again, like I said, I think a really good decision. You know, this game was causing a huge uproar. People were wanting refunds, and Valve and Steam being so awesome, they allowed people to get refunds, and I myself got a refund for the game. So anyways, this whole thing has been such a disaster, and my final thoughts, I would say, on this whole The War Z controversy, just wait for the DayZ standalone game. The people who were behind the DayZ mod that was so popular are making a standalone version of the game. Just wait for that game. Don't waste your money on the War Z. It's had this whole, it's been doomed to fail from the start, from the very moment that the developers started banning people for criticizing their game. Honestly, it's just a bad way to go about it on the internet. You can't censor people on the internet. It's really not a good idea. And yeah, so anyways, guys, those were my thoughts on this whole controversy. Of course, as always, leave your opinions on this stuff, on this whole controversy, in the comment section below. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you later. Peace. Also, guys, as you can tell, I'm going back to this more professional-looking post-roll system. So at the end of every video, you'll be able to see 2 other videos that I can link you to. You can also subscribe, look at my social networking sites. I don't know why you want to. I'm okay. I'm not that active on Twitter, but I post occasionally. Yes, so going back to this sexy post-roll thing that I made. So hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think. And yeah, talk to you guys later. Peace.